that. TRM said excited about the show today. Cousin '08 said big up Mike, big up Coop, sending positive vibes from London. Shout out to everybody out there. Philosophy says first time catching the show. Love the show, guys. Listen. I love you guys too, and I am going to put my Rock Nation luncheon invitation in jeopardy today, breaking down a lot of things that most media outlets won't break down about the actual catalog of Jay-Z. Listen, I have no problem with any artist having the confidence in themselves to say that nobody can stand with them, because on a skill level, Jay-Z has earned that. Jay-Z, regardless of what people want to think about him as an individual, as, catalog, whatever, skill set and lyric to lyric and just being a mind of the game and a spitter, he has earned that right to feel like nobody can stand there with him on any stage. But my problem is he's not going to entertain the stage. My thing is, if you're going to be that, do an open invite. Like Rick Ross said, man. Rick Ross said, I got 20 more for anybody who want it.
20-piece lemon pepper wet.
He said he got 20 more for anybody who want it. Imagine Michael Jordan sitting there saying, you know what, I'm the best, but I'm not going to play you for it. Imagine that.
No, Mike will play you for it.
Mike will play you for it. Mike will play you for whatever.
And would talk to you.
Yeah. And, I just find it very, I don't know where to start here, man. All right, first, let me just start with the actual words. Let's just go there. So I think Alicia Keys was having some sort of video conference or clubhouse, whatever it is. And Jay-Z was there virtually. And basically he said, this is his quote, and this is from Tidal. We didn't want to put the audio out there because, I didn't want anything to get demonetized. We never know. But anyway, the quote is, no one can stand on that stage with me. It's not a chance in hell that anyone can stand on that stage with me. Now, I think the other part of the quote was like for 2 hours or whatever the Verzuz is or whatnot. And I just think that, wow, I want to get your thoughts on that, sir. First off.
So, Mike, I think a lot of the opinions that I've had about him for a long time that have always made me come off as like a hater or a Nas stan are just kind of coming to fruition. I used to always talk about how, like, it was almost like he was too trendy, Mike. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't, like, rooted in anything stylistically. And so now that we have time to go back and look at his prime, you can see stylistically where he's all over the place, Mike. And he's the only all-time great who stylistically is all over the place. Like we were talking behind the scenes, and I was telling you, it's like, no, Slick Rick has been Slick Rick since you heard the show in Lottie Dottie. You feel me?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Stylistically speaking.
It's even on a production level, and not to interrupt you, when you hear a certain track, that's a Slick Rick type of track. It's very identifiable. I think that's one of the beautiful things about hip-hop, too, and hip-hop production is the fact that everybody kind of carries their own style, and it kind of comes from their flow. And when you talk about all the different eras of Jay and how his style and flow has switched up in many of those eras, and many of those different people who are attached to those styles, it becomes unidentifiable in a sense. We could start it with, the way he was rhyming during the jazz era. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Like, it's not that it's unidentifiable. It's just that it's striking in comparison to his peers. It's striking in comparison to a Rakim, a Nas, a Big, a Pac, a Slick Rick, whose mantras were frighteningly consistent. It's part of the greatness, kind of, is what I'm saying. This is like Mike. Nas started off at 19 years old as a nostalgic MC.
Hold on. You froze up for a second. I don't want any of this stuff to be cut off. We got like 43 people in the room. You want to hang it up and call me right back, and you will, continue.
Yeah, go on. See you in a minute.
Yeah. Hold that thought. But yes, I'm gonna get to some of the comments while Coop's coming back in the room. Terminator says, what Jay got on New York State of Mind. I gave you power. Speaking of Slick Rick, influenced damn near everybody. Yes, this is facts. All right. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I think we're
No,
back
but
on.
like
There
I
you
was
go. You there? Damn it, it happened again, man. What is going on?
Look,
Yeah. We're good. Go ahead.
yeah, you sure? You sure?
Yep, we're good. Go ahead.
So it's like Nas was a nostalgic MC on Illmatic. Like Rakim on Paid in Full is a super lyrical 5%er inspired MC. You get what I'm saying? It's like from the jump. Like the only person who even made a switch content wise was KRS, and that had a lot to do with literally his right hand man being murdered.
Chuck D has an identification.
Like
You
Chuck D
know,
has an
Ice Cube has
identification.
an ID. Scarface, we know what
Yeah,
Scarface brings to the table. Like, you know, it's funny, man. Before Jay even said this, I was just kind of, you know, going down the rabbit hole on the internet. And, you know, I'm a big Camp Lo fan. I loved, you know, Uptown Saturday Night.
it's a great
And,
album.
you know, and I've listened to them for years, and we know that they did Feeling It first, because they were messing with ski beats back then. And, you know, we've heard the whole story of the fact that Jay heard Feeling It. Beat, hook, everything's in there, same thing. And he's like, yo, I want that song. Got that song, made it his. And, you know, you could tell even some of the flow on Feeling It is very Camp Lo-ish, right? But I think the part that really stands out is that Maya Bestamy, when Jay jumped on that remix. And he's like, Carolina Blue Kicks, hottest nigga on the block. Used to Willie bicycle since I was 6. That's Geechee Suede right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. And I think it's cool when artists do that. But he's done this a lot from the Jazzo. And honestly, his style from Can I Get Open to In My Lifetime, the switch from that to Reasonable Doubt, you have to think that has something to do with Sauce Money.
It's pretty big.
That, I mean, that leap and just that stylistic change, the way Sauce Money rhymes and has always rhymed, you have to think that that has something to do with it, right? And then when you go from that era, that's when you go into the Geechee Suede, the Camp Lo, all of that. Sonny Chiba, shout out to them. I love that group. And then after that, that's when you start hearing the State Property, the Young Chris
Young
flow,
Chris
and
Flow.
all of that stuff. And so those are things that kind of make the flow in itself unidentifiable. And then we're not even talking about production
Mike,
because that's everywhere.
Mike, and we're not talking about big either because Mike,
I'm leaving Big all the way out of it because that is a consistent narrative that we don't even have to go there to talk about. You know what I mean?
no, Mike, we do have to go there because some things need to say the same. And this is what I'm saying is like I've always said this is like, well, where is he in the game that Big lives? Because it's like they do the same exact same thing. One guy has a better voice, a better delivery, is a better storyteller, has a better team. Like, you get what I'm saying?
No. It's clear he took Big's lane, ran with it, and there was no Big to fulfill that lane. I don't know if he would have jumped in that lane if Big was still here. Um,
Right. Like I think Reasonable Doubt probably gets made again if Big is still here.
I think so too. Well, okay, let's look at volume 2. Let's start because Versus is about the hits, right? And so my first thing was when he said this, obviously he's thought about this, and the one thing that he mentioned that he would go out there and, well, what is somebody gonna do when he does the Grammy Family Freestyle? And I'm like, Grammy Family Freestyle of your illustrious career, 20 songs. You're telling me that's part of that? I don't know if that was a shot at Kanye or what, but I don't know. Anyway, when he said that though, I'm thinking, okay, what 20 Jay-Z songs are going to get played in a versus that would make you that untouchable? You know what I'm saying? Because we know, and we've done the mock verses, I think, with LL and Jay. And so with LL, we know we're going to hear Rock the Bells. You know you're going to hear Radio. You know you're going to hear Round the Way Girl. But with
You
so
know,
much collaborative stuff and with such a long span of things, and let's be honest, some of these hit records didn't age as well as some of the non-hit records. It made me think, okay, if he were to do a versus, what songs are we gonna play? What songs do y'all think would have to be played? I'm talking to people in the chat now. What song do y'all think would have to be played in a Jay-Z versus? And I want to ask you that same thing, Coop.
I want to hear what the people have to say a little bit first, because that's what I'm saying, Mike. When you like Mike, I'm gonna read off like just some of his hits.
Okay, you know, I want you to do that. I got notes too.
Yeah, Can't Knock the Hustle, Feeling It, Ain't No Nigga, Hard Knock Life, Nigga What Nigga Who, Money Cash Hoes, Do It Again.
Hold on, let me stop you there. Let's stop there. Okay, Mary's on Can't Knock the Hustle. I don't think Can't Knock the Hustle is going to get played.
So stop for a second. So hold on. So when you say that, therein lies the problem. You're saying you don't think that gets played? I'm kind of telling you, if you actually go look at his hit records, at least on nostalgic value for core audience, kind of needs to get played, because some of these hits are dated. Like, he should play Can't Knock the Hustle before he plays Ain't No Nigga. Like, that he sounds super dated on Ain't No Nigga.
I agree with you. I think that Money Cash Hoes sounds dated.
Because it is, Mike. So is Big Pimpin'. Big Pimpin's actually dated, Mike.
I think it is too. And you know what? And even if we're talking about that, like, very collaborative heavy, where it's like Big Pimpin', is that not Pimp C on the hook? Or at least Jigga trying to do his version of Pimp C on there?
Mike, you want me to go through some more singles? 99 Problems, PSA, Change Clothes, Izzo, Girls, Girls, Girls. Do those sound like versus winners to you necessarily outside of PSA?
Not maybe really.
99 Problems?
Not really.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
And 99 Problems isn't a given. Because if we're talking about somebody, of the caliber of him, they're coming with something heavy.
So, Mike, here's what I've always kind of been saying. Well, his hits really ain't like what you think they are. I forgot to bring up Give It To Me. I Just Want to Love You. Like that's a win for him, probably.
That's a big record, but again, man, I mean, that's kind of a spinoff of Shake It Fast. It's the Neptunes. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm nitpicking.
No, I get what you're saying. I'm just speaking in terms of the quality of the actual record. Like, that's probably a win for him. But what I'm saying is that, Mike, if you put him up against somebody of his stature, it's like he's losing a lot of these records, Mike. It's like
these records didn't age as well as some of his iconic Mike, contemporaries records did.
So I know a lot of people are expecting me to go to Nas, but actually when I saw this list, I was thinking like, yo, Rakim can fade you.
Oh, you going Rakim?
I'm going Rakim can fade you. Like because it's like no, because God MC, me, Jehovah, right?
And see, this is the thing, and I picked LL too. You know what I'm saying? And we made a short list, and we're gonna go through this short list. And let me add Rakim to this list so we can actually entertain that conversation too, right? We made a short list of people that we think not only would stand on that stage against him, but could possibly beat him. Rakim only needs 11 victories, right? And we're talking 20 records.
So let me make 11. Yeah, but let me make a point before I go further.
Go ahead.
Because his singles, over a course of time, aren't as strong as we originally thought when they came out at the time. Mm-hmm. Where his best stuff is at, Mike, is actually on his B-sides.
I think Mike, he knows that, though. Because that's why he made the Grammy family reference. And that's not even a B-side as a freestyle.
But when he's saying that, it's like, well, dude, Nas and Rakim got you on the B-sides easy, and everybody knows that, too. What you got for Lyrics of Fury? Because Grammy family ain't cutting it against Lyrics of Fury,
Well,
Mike.
See, my thing is, if he tries to
go that route, you're not winning against it.
If he tries to go B-side,
you're getting Lyrics of Fury. You feel what I'm saying? You're getting verbal intercourse. Like, don't do that. You don't want to do that.
Well, you know what? We should do a mock versus to that. But again, I think that
Follow the Leader, Mike. What does he have lyrically for Follow the Leader when he go? You know what I'm saying? When Rakim start going into the bag, because Mike, Rakim shit is classic, super lyrical, and it was a hit when it came out, and it's aged well, Mike.
Raider 7528 says, according to hip hop, a versus with Jay-Z is going to be about collabos, and I think that's right. You know, and that's the thing where it's like,
So now
It's.
bring up the Grammy shit, Mike.
I want to bring up the Grammy stuff because I think Jay has the most Grammys of any artist in hip hop. Right? Jay has 23 Grammys, but we went through the individual Grammy wins, and oddly enough, only 4 of those are Grammys of songs that were, well, efforts by himself. 4 of those, meaning 99 Problems, DOA, on to the next one. Those are 3 Grammy wins he's had for songs. And he got a Grammy for Volume 2 for Rap Album of the Year. So out of 23 Grammys, 4 of those are solo joints. I think that kind of is telling the tale of what his hits look like when it comes to him as a soloist. Now, in comparison to Kanye West, and I'm going to get to Kanye, he has 22 Grammys. And 11 of those are solos. So that's what it's supposed to kind of look like.
See, that's what I'm saying. When you start putting him up against people of his stature.
Nah, Andrew, he has 23 now. They gave him a Grammy, or they gave Jay a Grammy for Savage. I guess she did some writing on there or something. But yeah, they're not tied anymore. He has 23 and Kanye has 22. But again, 4 of those are from Jay-Z's solo works. The rest of it's collaborative stuff. And again, if we sit there and look at the hit records, many of Jay-Z's stuff is collaborative efforts. And it's interesting that Raider said that because it's pretty accurate. Like, outside of PSA, and you don't know, what are the big notable records that won't have a collaboration on stage for Jay? 99 Problems?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Because on to the next one's not going to get played in a Verzuz. I mean, unless he's just trying to shout out Swiss, and if he does that, he's going to lose that round.
Well, here's the thing about it. This is what I mean. So, Mike, we keep talking about, okay, so PSA and You Don't Know, those are easy victories for him against pretty much anybody. He's going to win those records.
Yeah.
Those might be too strong.
Well, all the greats got that.
All the greats have records like that. But, Mike, what I'm saying is when you get to, like, his real strong stuff, which is really, like, stuff like Politics as Usual, Imaginary Player, Can I Live? You know what I'm saying?
Those aren't hits, though.
Those aren't right. Those aren't hits.
Yeah.
But not only are they not hits, but there are people of your stature that have made B-side records better than that. That's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, so Mike, let's take something like Can I Live? Mike, what Can I Live got on something like, you can pick a Rakim album, Mike. Like, what does that have on something like Casualties of War?
I think Can I Live's better, but if we talking like Ghetto or something, and see, that's what makes it hard, though. I feel what you're saying, but for people who weren't around for the Rakim era, and I miss the Rakim era, I'm slightly too young for it, I think certain things could be easily dismissed. That's why I kind of like pairing him with people who were around in the same era. Because I told you, when Snoop did the Verzuz with DMX, that track list that Snoop used, Jay wouldn't have beat him that night.
Nobody would have beat him that night.
Jay would not have beaten him that night. So don't sit here and say that nobody could stand on the stage with you. Snoop Dogg could stand on the stage with you.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, Mike, imagine him playing Izzo and Change Clothes next to some of that Snoop stuff.
Man, bro.
I mean, you go to Snoop.
Bro,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
you play Izzo next to like what's my name or who am I? You're going down.
Yeah.
You even if you play the Evils or something that's powerful like that, or Lucifer against Murder Was the Case, you are going down.
Mike, he's going down against somebody like Nas with I Gave You Power or Rewind on the same type of records. That's what I'm saying. He's losing on both sides. Like, he's going to lose to somebody like Snoop or LL on the hit-making side, or he's going to lose to somebody like Nas or Rakim on the B side. This is his stratosphere. When you bring up Ye, Mike, I mean, Ye's a whole problem for him, because if he were to do something with Ye, well, you can't use none of the stuff you did with Ye.
This is the thing. And you know what?
You got a whole problem.
First of all, let me just say this.
A whole problem. Mike, think about that for a second, though. If he did a versus Ye, you can't use Ye stuff.
He's not going to. Listen, Kanye West would beat Jay-Z in a versus, straight up. And I ain't talking about Kanye West, the producer. He ain't even got to dig into his production bag.
Mike, I think Big could still fade Jay in a versus Mike.
Possibly, but I
Mike,
don't want
Mike,
to. But
when
see
we talk
again,
about Mike,
Big's not here to do that. You know what I mean?
that's what I'm
I
saying though.
feel you,
Like I'm
but
talking about like Mike. He got Mike. He could play The World Is Filled and beat some of these singles. He could play The World Is Filled and beat some of these singles. Like Mike, the world is filled or change clothes, Mike.
I like
You feel
change
what I'm
clothes a
saying?
lot. I mean,
Mix
again,
up.
it's not fair because like we said, he
Really,
piggybacked on a lot of
really.
Big's career, and you're able to go out there and analyze things and move forward. Him and Kanye were happening at the same time.
Mike, I got a good one for you. My downfall or the evils.
Uh,
See what I'm
man, that's
saying? That's
nah.
not even Biggie's. That's not Biggie's hit record stuff that we already know he's about to win. That's that B-side shit. It's a problem.
No, I feel you, but I do
Mike,
want, I
Mike,
do want to.
you're nobody till somebody kills you versus Streets is watching. Mike,
I mean, I feel you, but I think that in the long run, Jay has a lot of records. I'm not even gonna front
a
on
lot
him.
of Mike. He's got a lot of great records, but what I'm saying is like all that switching up,
I
like
th-
it doesn't hold well. Like Mike, when Snoop was having his verses, didn't you kind of know about 7 or 8 of those records you were going to hear beforehand?
that's the thing. Yeah,
Because you know the status of the record. Mike, to be honest with Snoop, it was more like 10. It's like, well, he's playing these 10 records. We know that's happening.